Hello, Yawning Angel back again, another Amos video, and this time we're going to go back and revisit menus in Amos. Yes, the menu system within Amos, how we create menus for our programs. Now, I did cover menus back on my 7th Amos video. That would have been last year sometime. There's a link to that up here. Now, that was just a very simple menu system, but Amos offers a lot more flexibility when it comes to creating menus and customizing them. And so in this video, we are looking at advanced menus in Amos, and this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start to look at them because there's a lot of ground to cover, but I've chosen some areas of the advanced menu system that could be quite appealing. So we'll get on and have a look at those in this video. Awesome. So, quick overview, we are going to look at the following areas of advanced menus. We're going to look at the Menu Proc command, we're going to look at sub-menu items, and we're going to look at assigning keyboard shortcut to menu items as well. This is going to be great fun. So let's go and grab a cup of tea and then dive on into the code. Right, and here we are. So, quick mouthful of tea, slightly different mug today. It can hold more tea, which is always a good thing. Okay, so as we've already covered menus, I've written a quick shell of a program which we're going to build on. So this program here is just a very simple, there's no functionality in this. All it is just showing some menus that we've defined. So we've got a file menu, we've got an action menu, we've got a data menu and a styles menu. And trust me when I say there is no functionality around this, this is all about the menus. I just want to show you the mechanics really. So as we would normally do with a menu, we use the menu $ command. So menu 1 is file, and the first option within the file menu is print. The second option is quit. Down here, the second menu is action. The first option within that is box, the second option is circle, the third option rectangle, the fourth option square, etc, etc. So you get the idea. As with menus, then they have to be turned on. So we use the menu on command for that. And then we do a do loop. We do a main program loop, which basically loops round us checking to see if any of those menus have been selected. Now, this is the simple way of doing it. We're using the choice command. So what happens here is, so if choice, so this is basically if a menu has been selected, if choice 1, so that is basically which menu has been selected. So if choice 1 is 1, so our menu 1 is file. Yep, menu 1 is file. And if menu 1 has been selected, which is our file menu, and if the choice, the option that we've selected within that is the second choice, so choice 2 is the option, and it's number 2, which is our quit within there. So we go back up here. Yep, so our second option within menu 1 is quit. Basically, we'll end the program. And that is all this is doing. So this is conventional, straightforward menu. So if I run this program, nothing on the screen, obviously, I do my right mouse button, and there's my file menu, my action menu, my data menu, and my styles menu. I mean, I can select these, nothing's happening here because I've got no functionality, but I do have functionality for the quit. So if I select quit, which is the second option in the first menu, select that, the program ends. Really straightforward. So that's our basic way of doing menus. Now let's dive in and turn this into an advanced menu system. So we need to modify this program, and the first thing we're going to do is look at the Menu Proc command. So what does that do, Yawning Angel? I hear you say. So Menu Proc is effectively a command which says as soon as a menu is selected, then branch out to a procedure. Go to that procedure and action whatever that procedure wants you to do. So I've got some dust on my monitor. So it's quite straightforward. And it is literally the command Menu Proc. So we just do Menu Proc. But we need to define procedures after this statement. Now, if you have one menu, like a file menu, you will have one procedure. So I'm just going to give this procedure a name, and I'm going to call it handle file menu. But I've got 1, 2, 3, I've got 4 menus. So what you need a procedure defined for each menu that you have. So I've got an action menu. So what I need to do now is, after I've defined my handle file menu, I need to define handle action menu, because I have an action menu. I've got a data menu, so I need a handle data menu, and I've got a style menu, so I'm going to have a handle style menu. Please note, you do not have to have massive long names like this. I'm only doing this for this tutorial. You could have just single character names for these procedures. Amos is not fussy, but this is the way that I've done it, so it's a little bit more readable and understandable for the tutorial. So I've got 4 menus, so I've got 4 procedures. If I had one menu, I would just have one procedure. If I had 2 menus, I'd have 2 procedures. So remember, for on Menu Proc, you need to define a procedure for each menu that you have. This is really important. So I'm going to stick a rem statement in here. So rem define the procedures for each menu. Okay. Now, you're probably thinking, but Yawning Angel, how is that going to work? Because that's not in a do loop. So our program has run through all of the stuff here. It's set up all the definitions for the menus. It's turned on the menu, and now it's going to do an on menu proc, and then it's going to dive into a loop and do the core program functionality. Don't worry, on menu proc, I think, if I could stand corrected on this, but it's running every 50th of a second. It's being actioned. Amos is handling this. You don't have to put it in a loop. Amos has got an on menu proc, and it's going to keep checking every 50th of a second to see if a menu has been selected or not. And this is good because this takes the load away from your main routine. This means that in your main routine, you don't have to have this if choice sort of set of if and end if statements going on, which is eating up valuable program resources. So the on menu proc has taken all the heavy lifting away from that, and it's kind of watching what's going on in the background. So as we had to turn our menu on, we've also got to turn on the on menu command as well, which is a little strange, but we need to do it. So on menu on, that basically switches that on. And I do like this in Amos because we can switch that on, which also means we can switch it off. So if your program functionality was something like you didn't need that, on all the time, you could turn it off. And there'll be, times when you need that, but for now, we're just going to have that on. So basically, let's put a statement in here, rem turn on the on menu. Okay, so that's quite simple. I'll move my mouse again. Sorry, I've got my mouse pointer in the way again. Yeah, so that does that, which is great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this code here. I'm just going to get rid of all of this code inside the do loop because we're going to put some new code in here now. So I'm going to use Control and Delete just to delete each line. There we go. We've got some space there now. Right. So what I want to do is also talk about a different way of using the choice command. So we had it on an if statement, but we can just address it directly. And this is what we're going to do. So what I want to do is to be able to see what menu item I've selected each time. So I'm just going to quickly put some code in here now, which will show me as I select a menu item, which one I've actually selected. So I'll do that and we'll come back to it after I've done it. Huzzah! Right, okay, so I have, it's come out of there. I have added this code in. So basically what I'm doing here, set up a locate position. I'm going to print menu selected, and I'm going to show the result of choice 1. Remember, choice 1 will handle the menu that you've selected, while choice 2 will show you the option within that menu that you've selected, so the menu item selected. Okay, so we're not doing any conditional checking on the choice command, we're just literally referencing it. So what was choice 1, what menu did you select, and what is choice 2, what menu item did you select out of that. We're going to come back and add another option to this in a minute, but watch this space. So what I need to do now before I do anything else is actually define these procedures that I did for my on menu proc, because otherwise the program won't run. So let's do the first one together. Handle file menu and end proc. Okay, so what I need to do for the handle file menu, I'm going to do something a little bit different here. So we spoke briefly about the choice command and how we can address that slightly differently. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up a variable called menu selected, and that is going to equal choice 1. Okay, then I'm going to put a variable in called menu option, and that is going to equal choice 2. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here. So whatever menu we're selecting is menu selected. Whatever option I've selected within that goes into menu option. Choice 2 goes into menu option. Choice 1 goes into menu selected. Happy days. Now what I'm going to do is do an if statement. So if menu selected equals 1. Okay, so if I've selected, if I've selected the file menu, so do an end if straight away. Okay, so if I've selected the file menu, I want to check to see if I've selected my quit option, and then I want to end the program. So this is a different way to the original way of handling the quit and end program. So now I do if menu option equals 2, let's do the end if in there, then all I really want to do is just end the program. Quite straightforward. Now you're probably thinking, yep, I can't press F3 because I haven't defined all the procedures yet, so Amos wants me to do that. So let me finish this one off because there's more code to go in here yet. So I've done my if menu selected is 1 and if menu option is 2, then I'm going to end my program. After this last end if, there's something I need to do. I need to put this command in. This is very, very important. I need to put in the on menu on command again. You must not forget to do this, and I'll tell you for why. The way Amos handles it is every time you select a menu, so up here we've defined our menu procedures, we've turned on the on menu on, but as soon as I select a menu, Amos switches off the on menu proc. Okay? It switches that off completely. So what we need to do is switch it back on again. Sorry, no, it doesn't turn off the proc. What it's basically doing, it turns off the on menu on. It's basically runs an on menu off. So what we've got to do is reactivate this. And without that being reactivated every time, your program stops working. It's a little bit weird, but you've got to go with it. So effectively, after we've actioned a menu option, the first thing you have to do is switch the on menu on back on. Okay, so do not forget to do this. Rem important switch on menu on back on, if that makes any sense. Okay, right, now what I need to do is just define these other procedures very, very quickly. So let's do procedure handle action menu and proc, and what I'm going to do is just do Control B and just highlight that code, Control S, and I'm just going to paste that, paste it again, and then I'm going to do just change this name, handle action menu. We had handle data menu, and we've got handle, I think this one is style menu. Yes, it is. Right, okay, so we've got those defined. Now, yawning angel, I know I should be able to press F3, everything indents nicely. Okay, so let me go back to this handle file menu. So to reiterate, so what's happening here is, let me take you through the procedure, literally. Our on menu proc says that if any of my menus are fired, I need to go to the relevant procedure to find the code to do whatever that menu item selected wants me to do. So we're dealing with handle file menu at the moment because that's the first one. So as soon as it detects my menu's been selected, it dives into the handle file menu. It's pulling out the value of choice 1, so that's what menu has been selected. Choice 2 is what menu option has been selected. It's doing a quick check here. So have I selected the file menu? Have I selected option 2? If I have, then I end, because option 2 is rem quit the program. Okay, don't forget that. Right, let's just tidy this code up. Let's remove that. You might be thinking, Yawning Angel, would it not be more sensible just to check your option 2 because you're already in this procedure for the file menu? Yes, that could well work. Give it a try. See what happens when you do it. For now, I'm just doing it this way. Right, we're all good there. Now, something we also need to do, which I'll show you in a minute. Let me run this program and let's see what happens. So let's run that. Okay, so on the screen now it should tell me what menu is being selected. So if I go up to my menu and I select print, which should be menu 1, option 1, ta-da, it's done it. Look at that. If I go to my quit, the program ends. So that code is working. This is really good. Now, if I rerun the program, let me show you what happens and why it's so important to turn on that on menu on again within your procedures. So this time I'm going to go up to my action menu, which is menu 2, and I'm going to select option 1. I do that and it gives me the value. So the menu has been triggered, that's fine. Now if I go up to my third one and I select the first option, that's fine, it's doing that okay. If I go to the fourth one and select the fourth option, yeah, menu 4, option 1. This is good. Now I want to quit my program. Now I come up to File and do Quit. Nothing's happened. It's showing me what option has been selected, but that quit is no longer working. It doesn't function at all. What's going on, Yawning Angel? Okay, let me do Control C and dive back into the program and show you. Basically what has happened, remember I said that as soon as I select a menu, the on menu on is switched off, okay? But what's happening here, it's always going to show the value because my do loop is constantly looping. It's always showing choice 1, choice 2, but there's no menu actions in here. This on menu proc has now been disabled. So what happened, in my handle file menu, I was turning it back on, that's fine. But in none of these procedures, the handle action menu, the handle data menu, and the handle style menu, on menu on has not been switched back on. So let's do that. On menu on. And just do it down here. On menu on. You need to do it for each procedure. Okay, let's do that. Tidy the code up a bit. Getting messy, Yawning Angel. You're going to need another mouthful of tea in a minute. Okay, we're all good. No errors. So if I run that. So now I'm going to go in there, select the, menu 1, option 1, ta-da, that is selected. Now I go to my action menu, I'm going to select the third option. So menu 2, option 3, menu 2, option 3. Now I'm going to go to my data menu, menu 3, option 1, 3, 1. Now I'm going to go back to my quit, ta-da, it works. Because when I was actioning, let me go back in. When I was accessing these menus, it was firing into those procedures, and because my on menu on didn't exist, it wasn't switching the on menu proc back on, so it wouldn't work. So as a result, it is now. So if I can go into any of these, they work, and the quit works as well. Happy days. Now let's take a look at sub-menu items. Sub-menu items. You know that thing when you go into a menu, click on the menu, then you select an option, but then another option comes out at the side? That's what we're going to do now. Ooh, exciting. And we're going to do it on our action menu because that's got the most things going on. Right. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. What we need to do in here then, so we just need to define a sub-menu item, and it's really, really easy. So what we do is menu $, so it's menu 2, okay? It's going to come, our submenu is going to come off of the fourth option, so 4, and this will be the first submenu item, okay? And we're going to call this small square, okay? So when somebody clicks on action and they come down to square, a submenu will appear that says small square. True, it is true, trust me. Let's do another one, menu $. So for the second menu off of the fourth menu item, our second submenu item will be tiny square. So for everyone taking notes at the back, you may notice that we might be able to use some of this in the graphics editor program which I started writing some time ago. A link to that up above, very important. So some of this stuff will come into play in there. Yeah, so you're wondering, well, why, Yawning Angel, did you do about the graphics editor? Now you've gone back to menus. There's method in the madness. Right, so effectively, so let's talk about menu 2 then. So menu 2 is our action menu. Our first option is box, our second option is circle, our third option is rectangle, our fourth option is square. And off of our fourth option, our first sub-menu option is small square, and our second sub-menu option is tiny square. Let's run that and see what happens. If I go to the action menu, there we go, menu 2. Option 1, option 2, option 3. As soon as I hit option 4, ta-da, these appear. Look at that. It's magic. It's Amos magic. But they're not doing anything. We want to see if we can actually select them. So now let's go back and add in some code, because you're probably wondering, well, how, Yawning Angel, how do I actually select them? How do I determine if they have been selected? So here is some more Amos magic. So let me just copy this line, Control B, move to the end of the line to highlight it, Control S, drop down, Control P to pop it in there. So let's go here, and what I'm going to do is menu sub item selected. And so if choice 1, so let's work this through together, everybody. If choice 1 is my menu, if choice 2 is my option, therefore choice 3 is my sub menu. Yep, it's so easy, right? And I'll show you that working. I need to change my locate position as well. Well spotted. Let's just dump that at 12. Okay, so now F2, no errors. Let's run that. So now if I go to my second menu, go to my fourth option and my first sub menu item, ta-da, 2, 4, 1. Look at that. Choice 3 is returning a value. And if I go to the second sub menu item on option 4, that changes to a 2. There you go. Dead easy way to define and detect sub menu items in Amos. Absolutely brilliant. Woohoo! Okay, and finally, what are we going to do? We're going to assign a keyboard shortcut to a menu item. This is amazing, and you really need to pay attention for this because it's really, really quite something. Okay, so what I want to do is off of the file menu, on the quit command, I want to assign a keyboard shortcut to that. So I don't want to necessarily go to the menu and select quit. What I want to do is press the Q key to quit my program. So what I'm going to do in here, I've got a couple of spaces after that. So what I'm going to do is just do this. You can do whatever you like. It doesn't matter what you type in here. This is just a visual cue for the user. I mean, you could, use just normal brackets. Whatever. We'll do that. Okay. So basically, if I run this program now, illegal function call, line 34. That's not good, is it, boys and girls? Yes. So that needs to be in quotes. So don't use those brackets. This needs to be, and there's probably a reason for that. There we go. There's a reason for that, and that we'll look at in another video. So there you go. A little bit of an insight for you, even though it was a bit of an accident. But anyway, if I go to file now, you'll see that on my quit, I've got this Q, in angled brackets there. So, it's still not going to do anything. The quit will still work as the quit. If I run the program and I press Q, nothing's happening. If I do Shift Q, nothing's happening because we haven't written the code for that yet. But visually, we've got that defined there. Right. So now this is the really, really fun bit. So what I need to do now, if I come all the way down here, so I turn my menu on. After that, I'm going to add some code in here to assign Q to my second menu option in my file menu. Right, are you ready? So let's just put in a rem statement, assign the Q key to menu item 2 in the file menu. And what we're going to do, are you ready? The command you need is menu key, then you put your menu item in. So it's menu 1, item 2, okay? Close the brackets, then 2, then you do a quote, your letter that you want to assign, in this case it's an uppercase Q. That, ladies and gentlemen, is all you have to do. This is why I love Amos, because it is so simple and straightforward. It doesn't come any easier than this. So let me show you this running. If I do F2, there are no errors. Press F1. So here I am, you know, my menus are still there. If I can still select this using my mouse, it still ends the program. But here is the acid test. What I'm going to do now, come to my keyboard. If I press Q, nothing's happening because it was an uppercase Q that I defined. So I do Shift Q and my program ends. Oh my word, look at that. How amazing. I'm going to run that again because that's just so cool. Yeah, pressing Q, nothing happens. If I do Shift Q, program ends. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you assign a key on your keyboard to a menu item. Simplicity in itself. Yep, you just use the menu key command. Remember your menu that it is, so it's menu 1 in this instance, it's the second option, and that is assigned to the letter Q. Dead straightforward. That's it. Everything's running. We've got a program which is showing us our menu items being selected. Like that. It's all happy days. I can quit out of here, but I can also do Shift Q and our program ends. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. That is it. And that is it for another video. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget, you can download the code for this program from my website for free. There's a link down here. No strings attached. Dive in and fill your boots. Really do appreciate your time in watching this. If you liked it, give it a like. If you enjoy what I do a number of Amos videos. You can subscribe to my channel, that'd be awesome. You can find me online at various places. I've got my website, there's a link here. I'm on various social channels now, there are just way too many. There's a few listed here, probably scrolling up the screen as we speak. If you enjoy my work and you get stuff out of it, I am on Ko-fi. If you wish to support me on there, the Ko-fi link is here. So that's it. We may come back and look at more stuff within the advanced menu system within Amos, because there's still quite a rich amount of content to explore there. But for now, I hope this has given you some flavor of what can be done, and you can start to integrate some of this into your own programs. So that's it for this video. Thanks once again for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. And whatever you do, keep it retro.